Login, late night, same chair, same spot. Screen glow, halo, chat's running hot. She flips to page 3, then dives off the plot. Let's talk about the Lizard Kings again. Tinfoil crown sitting proud on her head. Says it helps keep out the thought police thread. But she laughs so hard that it slips instead. Who walks past like, here we go, my friend. Welcome to Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox. Asleep on the unread stack. Camera zooms in, chats typing in caps. Show us the cover, what's that in the back? She grins, it's classified, or maybe it's trash. She's got red string charts that we can't quite see. Swears the plot twist lives on page 203. Then she stops mid-rant, did you hear that beep? It's just a follow ping, but we all lean in. Welcome to Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox. Are we chasing our tails or the mother load? She says, think for yourself, that's the only law. Then Boo hits the mic with a perfect miss throughout. Welcome to Digger's Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox.
Because, you know. Try that again. Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? Oh, my goodness. Every time I think I'm ready, I still end up messing something up. But what can you do? How's everyone doing? It is, what day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. That's right. So this is Chat's Choice, which means that you guys get to tell me what we're going to talk about. I know I totally boomered it. What can you do, though? It is what it is. It's me. Now, I do have a pair of feline friends who are trying to tell me it is time when it is not time. It is not that time yet for a while. Yeah, I'm getting the blinkies. So there may be some extra cat action. But other than that, hello to MJ. Yes, Wednesday, I tried to do a whole big change to the schedule, and it turned out that my best bet was just to move this one stream, the Chatter's Choice, moving it to Wednesday so that I can attend the Bible study on Thursday. So, yeah, I'll still do the reading streams Thursday morning, just like normal, but Chatter's Choice is going to be a Wednesday night thing. So there you go. There's Brian saying, woo! Hope everyone is good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. And there's Squabby with the piece. There we go. That's really cute. Is that an actual emoji? like in the list of. I've not seen that one being used before. That's new. Thank you. And Mr. Q with the cute cow. And Wild, there she is. Wild is there as well with the sunshine. Brian says he's cracking open his third beer before he does the midterm exam. So, I mean, whatever works. I don't know that I was ever really drinking while doing homework. Drinking and homework was never a thing. Drinking was for after. But what can you do? You do you. I've got a fresh pot of coffee brewing, although it's 10 after 4 here. So I'm doing pretty good. My second pot um, is starting now. By the time I finish it, I won't want any more before bed. So that's nice. I'm trying to be a little bit more um, aware of my stuff. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I sure as hell have. I have gained an awful lot of weight, and I'm not sure why because my eating habits haven't changed. If anything, um, exercising this last year has been better than the year before. I guess I can say that. It's basically been the same as normal, so it's not like anything's really changed. And yet I keep gaining weight, and I'm not able to drop it. So there's something more going on, and I'm not really thrilled with it. But we're looking at it and playing with my meds and all the fun stuff. So, um, yeah, I'm not too thrilled with it. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can get some um, results on some tests and tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can change it. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I don't. It bothers me. It really bothers me. We're gonna talk about my gigantic anime boobs. No, because I don't have that picture. I don't have access to that picture. Not that I need it. That's a fun thing for the morning show. And Wild says she's doing okay, trying to chill. Well, that's good. I'm hoping this evening is a bit more relaxed for you. I know you're having a bit of a tough day today, so hopefully now that it's evening time, you can just kind of let it all go by the wayside. Hopefully. Mr. Hughes, what the hell's going on with Canada? And have they actually charged Timmy Walls? Because I got a thing earlier saying they did. Okay. You'll have to be more clear. What do you mean specifically? What the hell's going on with Canada? Because there's a lot of shit going on with Canada. So you got to be a little bit more specific. I have not seen anything where Tim Walls has actually been arrested. I have not gotten that at all. I've seen that headline on a few videos, but been seeing that long before the financial shit, the fraud stuff came out. So I haven't seen anything myself. Don't hold your breath. Wild says if you're going to stream on Wednesday, you should get the My Dude soundbite. That's true. I should get the My Dude soundbite. That is very true. And then I would be able to properly hear it every Wednesday. Sound. There we go. Because, yeah, I don't know. You guys have heard me talk about it, but his program grows through Discord, but then it goes into OBS through Streamlabs, I think. And somewhere in amongst all of those connections and me, a lot of those sound effects get lost by the wayside. I'll only hear like little bits of it or nothing at all. Every once in a while, I'll be able to hear it clear as day. Surprises the heck out of me. But that's why the jump scare is so fun for me because I don't hear it. I only know it's happened because I see it in the chat or I see it up in the top of the screen. I can't hear it. So it totally doesn't affect me. It's really quite nice. But yeah, I should get that sound bite so that I can use it. Um, I love that sound. I'd love to be able to hear it in its complete sound. Hello, Elemental. How you doing? Um, and you're over on the Rumble as well. Good, good. I talked Nikki's uncle into getting 6 of those gray cows. Oh, okay. Well, they're freaking adorable. Um, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I can see his avatar really well. And that little cow is just adorable. He's so cute. I might even be willing to take him home. You know, like if cows were that cute, I wouldn't mind having a couple for milk, you know, and the steaks, but they'd have to stay looking that cute. Hi, Buck. How you doing? Hello, eh? Giving us hugs. Hello. Thank you, Squabby. Over on the Rumble as well. Um, hell yeah, Brian, it's beer time. Yeah, for me it's fresh pot of coffee time. Gigantic anime boobs. Whose? Mine. On the morning show that I'm on, Johnny, he took he's got a caricature of like a Johnny doll that he's had for his comedy stuff forever. And he took that and my avatar with the shovel. And he made his Johnny doll look like my avatar. And that's now the opening page for our morning show together. But then Brian, in his infinite wisdom, said, "But wait, Johnny, can you ask the computer to give her big boobs?" And the computer said, "No problem." So it did. It just, the only thing it enlarged was my boobs. We're pretty sure, I think the general consensus is that the shovel was made smaller. Um, the boobs were made huge, but the AI was kind enough to keep the Canadian flag symbol on this side of the chest, the hoodie I'm wearing. It just made it ginormous too. So it's, yeah, it's something else. Um, I never wanted to know what I would look like if I were an anime character, but now I do know. And it's I don't know how that woman in real life would be able to get around. Weight gain could be the cat piss coffee. You think so? Is weight gain a thing for coffee? I didn't know that. Because that's, I mean, I survive on coffee. Um, I'm quite proud of, I'm back down to 2 pots a day. And lately I've ended up pouring at least the last third, usually the last third of the pot out, just because it sat too long, because I'm doing this. So yeah, I basically survive on coffee. And I have food at the beginning of the month when I get paid. Well, the end of the month when I get paid. And then when the food runs out, um, the good food, I guess, you know, milk for cereal and stuff like that. At the end of the month, I'm down to the raisin bread and cheese and for cheese sandwiches and a lot of popcorn. A lot of popcorn. I usually, you know, I'll make a tray of chicken thighs to put for a bunch of different meals. But yeah, the end of the month, I'm eating grand. Like I got groceries the other day. I'm eating pretty good. I spent $250 and I got really not a whole lot. I mean, I know some of it was toiletries and you know, some of it was you know, like I had to get some more Miracle Whip, you know, and a thing of coffee. So, you know, it's not all there, but really I did not get much in the way of actual meal making food for out of that $250. It's getting, yeah, it's getting tough out here to eat healthy. I can't wait until the weather gets clear. Um, I live in the Okanagan Valley, and it is very well known for its ability to grow things. Um, apples were a major source. right from back in the day. Um, we've got a lot of it's been turned into grapes for vineyards, unfortunately, but we've got tons of farms that'll sell all sorts of good veg um, at the farmers market and whatnot. And there's a good food box that I can order, and they'll give me whatever vegetables they have for the season in a box, and that's once a month. So, that's nice. But I gotta wait for growing season, and then of course I'm growing my own. You know, I'm growing the heck out of my broccoli and my zucchini and my bell peppers because that's what I like to eat most. So, yeah, and the sweet peas. But yeah, I didn't know that coffee could be a weight gain thing. So I'll have to look at that. It is hump day. It is. Um, I was saying this used to be a Thursday thing, but there's a Bible study that happens on a Thursday that I've not been attending because I've been doing the stream. And I needed to change that. So here we are. We'll do the chat's choice on the Wednesdays now. So you guys tell me what you want to talk about, and that's what we'll do. And if it's a really boring stream, that's your fault because you're supposed to be talking to me. So it's on you guys, not me. Oh, bragger. Mr. Q is talking about how good moose meat, red potatoes, and beer taste together. Yeah, I'll bet they do. I bet they taste phenomenal. I have not had moose meat in eons. It's been a long, long time. Only the federal government can charge him with a crime. Talking to Tim Walz again. Minnesota can't. He could just acquit his own sentence. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because he's governor, so he can pretty much just acquit himself of all absolve himself of all things, all charges. Isn't it fun? Isn't it lovely if you're on the right rung of the political ladder? Just how great life can be, you know? Nikki wants the digger shirt to have your Garbage Pail Kids picture on it. Okay. I never thought to put it on a t-shirt. A friend of mine, one of the other Legal Vices mods, Little D, Danielle with the little D, she made it for me. And I love it. I loved it so much. And it really is great for, for what this is, the Chatterbox podcast. That's what we do. We sit here. You guys see, this is basically my house. You're seeing oh yeah, I forgot to tuck away. I usually do a quick scan and make sure that everything's tucked away, but yeah, I've got my heating pad right there, and I've got my right there. That's my wedge pillow. It's been really hurting. I'm getting the new fibro pain is fun. It hasn't been as bad though. I've been taking that the medication change happened about a week ago. And I'm starting to notice a difference. I can do this. I can stream all day wearing the normal bra, and it's okay. So that's lovely. I'm back to being able to wear clothes like this, which has the texture to it, right? You can see each one, teeny tiny one of these little things. When my fibro is really bad, each one of those things feels like a slice into my skin. My skin gets so like sensitized. It's not fun. It's really not fun. But I'm back to wearing clothes that I wouldn't be able to normally. So there's a bonus. Thankfully, medicine is a good thing. You just got to make sure you're taking the right stuff in the right amount and don't be taking too much. My doctor really loves to push a whole lot of meds on me, and just before COVID hit, I started trying to wean myself off a lot of things and pay more attention to my meds. I took myself off of Wellbutrin, and I took myself off of oh, what's the other one? A really, really bad one, gabapentin. I was on uber high doses of gabapentin that I would take twice a day, um, ridiculously high doses of GABA, and I found out just how bad it was for me. So I weaned myself off of that one. The same with the Wellbutrin. The Wellbutrin one, um, I can't remember what was wrong with it. I just know that I had to weed myself off of that one, and then we got me on different things, and they work really well. So now the the pain ones are starting to take effect now, and crossing fingers. But yeah, I will definitely I'll try and make that into a shirt. That would be cool. And yes, Buck, next to next to Anime Digger, it's yeah, Dolly Parton is about my only competitor, honestly, and any other anime girl ever drawn. With the price of fuel going up, you can expect the groceries will too soon. Yeah, yeah. Well, the cost of everything is going to go up. So you know what you know what you can expect. The cost of everything is going to keep going up, no matter what happens. That it never goes down. Like maybe with gas, we've seen gas go up and down. That fluctuates a fair bit, but it's very rare that food will go up in price and then not come back down, and or that'll go up and then come back down. It always stays where it's at and then just keeps rising. Hello, Boosh. You're saying you can't stay long, but you'll chill. Well, good to see you. I love that you're riding on a seahorse. That's really cool. Oh, there's Chris B. Good to see you. Got to grow some broccoli, but the smokable form. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how well that would last out in the in the patch of ground that I have to grow in. I have a feeling the neighborhood wildlife would get into that kind of broccoli. It would smell it would smell too much to keep it a secret. Buck is saying boosh. And yeah, moose burgers are amazing. Moose steaks, moose in general is a very tasty meat, for sure. I haven't had it in very long, but it is tasty. How do I feel about us Canucks funding $100 million in scholarships for Indian students? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We should not be funding other people's, like other countries' people and educating them. We should be using that money for our own people. But then I also don't think we should have all the foreign workers in working in places like Tim Hortons and taking over staple Canadian companies and turning them into shitholes. So, but that's not their fault either. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not the foreign workers' faults. They weren't trained properly because these companies are now owned by conglomerates, and the conglomerates don't care. It's too bad that Tim Hortons had to be sold, but I guess she was getting on in years, so they can't keep it forever. But yeah, I don't like that we're sending money anywhere. We're sending more money to the Ukraine. Um, he's making deals with India and with China. Um, Ridiculous. Our partners, our best allies have always been the States. So why he's uh, picking fights with Trump and making deals with China and India, I have no idea. I really don't. We've been bringing in for the last decade. We've been bringing in people from India. However, unfortunately, among with the people who are bringing their families and genuinely looking for a better time, we're also bringing in a bunch of gang members, and they're fighting each other and extorting each other. Extortion The crime of extortion has raised significantly in Canada over the last, I think the thing I was looking at was 5 years, but it's amazing. The amount of grapes happening, um, and just the assaults of a certain kind. There's so much happening because we flooded so many people into our country that don't care about our country. They didn't want to become Canadian. They're not here for that. Um, they're here for completely different reasons, and we need to stop sending money out everywhere else and fix our own shit first. But to do that, we'd have to get rid of the government en masse and start rebuilding from scratch because they're all dirty. Trudeau worked well. We know who he worked for. He loved China. He praised them and their way of government. Um, so he worked for China. It's no secret. Mark Carney's a banker, first, foremost, and always a banker. So he does what will work best for him and his companies and his friends. Polyev is really no better. He's not, you know, he's not clean by any means. He works on behalf of the UN. Oh, yeah, see, they're sweets. But yeah, Polyev is works for the UN. They're all dirty. They're all connected to one of the factions that control us all. Um, so I doubt we're ever going to see much change. Our best bet as us, the people, we the people, our best bet is just to make the little area of the world that we can affect as good as possible. That's our best bet. Did I see Hillary making a cringe face when they asked her about Anthony Werner file called Frazzle Drip? No. I know she isn't going to comment, but it was funny to see her face. Frazzle Drip. I've never heard of Frazzle Drip. I like that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I've got that to look at later. Thank you, Wild. I recognize that name. But I don't remember Frazzle Drip. So that's kind of a cute name. So I don't know. According to people, Billie Eilish, the singer, has like 32H boobies. Yeah, she's built really big. I had a girlfriend who was 5 foot fuck all, but she had boobies, honestly, that looked like the anime picture of me. Really, she had ginormous boobs, and she was 5 foot fuck all. So it's just this cute little face and grin, and these ginormous boobs. It was wild. Um, and yeah, I've heard that Billie Eilish has got some big boobs too. That's why she wears such big, bulky clothes. I have no idea. I've never really paid attention. Yeah, I don't really look at girls' boobs in general. So Boosh is saying food costs where he's at have dropped. So that's nice. Really? I don't think I've ever seen food prices drop. I mean, I've seen food go on sale and I've seen coupons, but once it bumps up, like I got 2 loaves of bread and I spent nearly $5 for 2 loaves of bread. That's ridiculous. Um, or sorry, no, I paid $8 for it. Yeah, it was 4 and change. It was almost 5 for a loaf. So, yeah, I need to start baking my own bread. I make a lot of fruit bread, or quick bread. I make a lot of quick bread, but that's not good for cheese sandwiches and stuff. I need to start baking my own bread. Um, that would be smart. I should also start have my own sourdough starter because I love sourdough, and that would help too. Mr. Keefe says he's got 5 grow tents for 8 people. It's nice. Well, that is nice. That would work out well. I Yeah, I mean technically I'm allowed to grow um weed here. I signed a thing promising I wouldn't grow weed in my apartment when they first legalized it. Fair enough. So but in general we're allowed to grow here, but yeah, I just haven't I haven't bothered. Like I said, I'm not allowed to do it here. So it's too cold outside even when we've got winters like we've had the last few, with no snow or very little snow. Even with that, it's too cold to grow anything outside. Yes, my government does suck ass. We are being broken. We're yeah. Yeah, it sucks. Um, I'm kind of I am really watching Alberta closely. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see how that shakes out, and that will depend a whole lot on what the rest of us in the West do. So I hope it goes well. I hope independence um, can not just be achieved, but then they can make it work, right? Because you've got to, I keep being reminded um, by certain people, they need to make sure that they've got all their stuff covered. They need to worry about the medical. They need to worry about policing. They need to worry about military. They need to worry about all sorts of systems that are, as of now, being taken care of by the federal government. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that they've got to do. Like they're kicking out the RCMP. RCMP won't like that very much. um, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into independence, but I'm watching closely. And worst case scenario, if we go all commie suddenly, I Alberta's a really quick hop. I can bum a ride or something. I can get myself to Alberta really quick. Matter of hours, I'd be there. So I'm not overly worried. Alberta independence, baby, right? Yep. We'll wait and we'll watch. But you refuse to kill bad people. Well, I don't. Um, I don't know what you're talking about, Dom. I don't refuse to kill bad people if they're proven guilty of like I don't think Picton should have had a life sentence. I think he should have been put to death. I think that was pretty well proven. I think there's other really evil people out there who deserve the death penalty. Um, so yeah, I totally will kill the bad people. I'm all for that. What if we just conquer Canada, force all the people from Ottawa, Montreal, and Vancouver to move to Greenland and, as a relocation kind of thing? That last bit, move to Greenland, wouldn't work. No, that wouldn't work at all. Honestly, you can't force the people from Ottawa, like Montreal, Ontario. um, we can't just do that. But it's Quebec tried to separate many, many years ago when I was a little kid, and nothing ever happened. The federal government gave them all sorts of concessions, and voting rights and this and that and the other thing, and paid them a whole lot of money, and they stayed. So I think our best bet would be just to, you know, just split it from Saskatchewan west and call that Western Canada. And then Ottawa and Quebec, they can all take care of themselves. They can all go fuck themselves. The problem with Vancouver is a problem. They're very, very communist. More than a few people think universal pay. That's not the right term, but everyone automatically gets paid out each month from the province. Universal, whatever. Um, they think it's a good thing. They thought, legalizing hard drugs and selling them out of vending machines was a good thing. Um, so yeah, it's going to be tough trying to get that out of that area. But because they're lefty, they're mostly sheep. And if you just push them gently, nudge them gently long enough, you can herd them back over to the right side of or at least the sane side of the line. So, um, yeah, I think we'd be just better off to just become independent Western Canada, and then they can do whatever the heck they want with their um, blue selves, their liberal selves, and their uh, two slug butts. Um, because we don't have LGBTQ here in Canada. No, we had to make it even more open and welcome. So we've got it's basically two slug butts. It's two spirits, LGBTQ, IA plus, and I don't know what the IA plus is offhand. I can't remember. It's all ridiculousness, but it's fun because it comes down to slug butts, two slug butts. Um, but they can do all of that. They can keep that going as much as they want, and the new country of Western Canada will just go back to common sense and logic. I really just want Alberta and Manitoba so my family is safe. Yeah, well, and that is something too. Like your family is not in danger, not at this point. Like there's no violence or physical danger out west. I can't speak for out east, but at least from Saskatchewan and Alberta and BC's perspective, um, it's relatively safe. There's a lot of theft. There's a lot of homeless and druggies, um, but it's not particularly dangerous. The coast, Vancouver and the lower mainland is dangerous because they've got a lot of the imported gangs having gang fights. Surrey is shot up on the daily. There's drive-bys or murders or things happening in Surrey daily. It's an awful big mess. But as for the rest of us, it's still relatively it's a safe place. Safe from the Canadian communism. Yeah, well, and that's going to be a slow descent too. We refuse to allow people like you to kill bad people. Um, well, and again, it's not me. It's the government. But yeah, I don't like the idea of vigilante justice necessarily. We've got police, we've got laws. What we need is we need police to enforce the laws, and then we need the lawyers to actually go ahead and pursue those charges. We need them to start using the laws and following the laws again. We need judges who aren't, you know, DEI hires and giving breaks depending on the color of your skin. We need proper judges who will judge by the law. Um, there's a lot of things that we need, but we don't need vigilantes. We don't need that. Okay, foil time, the Anthony Werner laptop, Pizzagate stuff. Okay, see, I've heard about Pizzagate. I don't know why the frazzle drips has just like I feel like that's a word or a name that I would remember. Um, that being said, I haven't gone deep dive into Pizzagate. I just know the basics, the surface level stuff. Because at that point I was a teenager. I was not paying attention to anything like that. So okay, I will go and I will look more into it. Like I said, I've already got Frazzle Drip opened in another tab, so I can go back and look for that later. Frazzle Drip is on the other side of the wall from Fraggle Rock. Okay, see, and I love the word frazzle. I do. I enjoy the word frazzle. I don't know why, but it doesn't get used often, and I like it. And yeah, I love Fraggle Rock. Either which way, I would have thought something like that would twig and stick to my brain, but then you never know what sticks, what's going to stick in my brain. Hiya, do we have Aldi in Canada? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Um, in Canada, does not currently have physical stores in Canada, but expansion plans. Um, who owns Aldi? Is a better thing. So yeah, no Aldis yet, but yeah, no, they're not even owned by one of the umbrella cores that own any grocery stores. That's the thing too. There's I shouldn't have closed that now, but there's like four country companies that run all of the grocery stores in Canada. Um, so it doesn't matter if you're shopping at, which one you're shopping at, you're going to be ending up buying from one of the four companies. And it's yeah. Here, hold on. You're on the table. You're not supposed to be. So we're gonna shill. Hey, this is us saying, hey, if you like the show, and if you want to be put down, like let put set back down on your feet, then please hit like and all the fun stuff. Yeah, there we go. And go off the table, off the table. Thank you. Oh, so no Aldi's yet in Canada. Um, then Canadians will vote someone in office who wants to improve Canada. Well, yeah, they play shenanigans with the elections too, and like about a decade ago, like back in 2016, when Trudeau was first voted in, something that had been an issue for Canadians for a very long time was actually the way in which they counted the votes for an election. And one of the things Trudeau ran on was that he would finally ask the question and allow us to vote and settle that. Um, but then he did it, except he left both options so open ended and vaguely worded that it didn't matter which option we ended up choosing, we, the people, were going to get screwed in our elections. He was able to skew it in his favor so that he could control it. Um, it was yeah, it was not good. So it doesn't matter. Our votes, our elections are so screwy. They don't really count. And again, that's why the new country of Western Canada would be lovely because we could start from scratch and we could rebuild. We could start with people who actually give a shit about our place, our land. You know, it would be nice. Chicken and pork have been going down for over a year. Beef is very slightly gone down. Oh, see, it's the opposite here. Everything has gone up. Beef has gone up exorbitantly, considering how much cattle is raised right here and in Alberta. Um, yeah, there's no reason for us to be paying as much as we're being charged. $40 for one little steak. It's about, yeah, probably about that thick. One little steak, $40. I can't afford that. I spent too much this month for groceries and yeah, don't have a whole lot to show for it. I like my canned goods. And again, I can't wait for springtime so that I can start growing my own food again. Veg went down a lot except for out of season stuff. Okay. Too far. Got chicken for 90 cents a pound last week. Think Billie Eilish has ginormous breasts. Hillshire Farms, baby. Fair enough. Yeah, I've never been much of a fan of pork steaks or pork chops. I just found it so dry. I was never really a fan. Uh, Again, that's why deciding when I finally decided not to eat pork any longer, it wasn't really a huge change to my life. The only thing that I really miss and still miss to this day is the bacon. I love the taste of bacon. Um, and it changed my pizza order. Was the only real major change to my world was that it changed my pizza order. Uh, so I was never much of a pork fan, anyways. You want Alberta and Saskatchewan, sure you do, but you know what? You also want BC because even if we do have to give up the Lower Mainland, we've got two separate places that we could put international ports, so we could just totally bypass the Lower Mainland and Vancouver. Just totally bypass it. It would also help ship our stuff out through the Pacific instead of going all the way around or through. We can get over to Russia and Japan. It would open up a lot of more shipping lanes. So just don't forget about us, BC, when you're saying Alberta and Saskatchewan. Don't forget about us. I can get beef shoulder steaks for $6.49 a pound. Go for it. Wow. Weren't they out seizing the oil fields in Alberta and Saskatchewan? Um, who's they? I don't know who they are. I haven't heard anything about seizing oil fields. I do know that they have been sold off to foreign companies. I know there are oil rigs that are run by and for the Chinese and the CCP, and that they have their own guards who are armed with guns that security guards, Canadian security guards, would not be allowed to carry. It's illegal for them to carry it, but these Chinese security guards are able to carry them. So yeah, I know they own a lot of the rigs and stuff, but I haven't heard anything about anyone seizing stuff. Hello, 20. How you doing? Oh, thank you. You admire my honesty. Thank you. That was a collective view aimed at women and low T males. Gotcha. Gotcha. So my government. Yeah, fair enough. I did not necessarily mean that you dig or refuse to kill bad people. Okay, I'm just saying because I think we can talk about that. I could be okay with that. Like I said, there are murders that we could have just offed and saved everyone a lot of money and trouble. But that's me. With the Quebec separation thing, just screwed over the rest of the country. Well, it just made everything worse for the West. It was never great. I remember back in the day, like back in the day before I was even thought of, but they would run the election in Canada and they would call it before we'd even finished our voting over here in the West. Before our polls even closed, they were already calling it because our votes didn't matter because we didn't have enough collective votes to make a lick of difference to whatever they out east wanted to do. So it's never been a great thing out here in the West. We've always kind of done the work and earned the stuff, made the stuff, grew the stuff, whatever, and then had to pay it all out. But yeah, when Quebec tried to separate, Ottawa really did bend over backwards to make sure that they didn't and gave them all sorts of concessions. There's an equalization agreement that was done. I'm pretty sure because of the Quebec and they're trying to separate, there's an equalization payment so that no matter where in the country you live, you can get relatively the same level of treatment. Like we'll get the same level of policing, we'll get the same level of medical care, that sort of thing. If I go to Nova Scotia and I get hurt, I'm going to get the same sort of treatment I'd get in my own emergency at a hospital there, right? The problem is the bulk of the money, a bulk of the work is done in the West, and then a lot of our money gets taken and handed out east. and they don't really put in a whole lot of work. Like Ford, Doug Ford. I keep wanting to say Rob, but Doug Ford. He's making all sorts of threats to the lumber and auto and stuff, and like they don't really do a lot of that. He's talking on shit that's affecting BC, and he's making threats about stopping stuff that we're doing in BC, and he should just go fuck himself and keep quiet. You know, they're threatening. We end up getting harmed for what they want to do. So I would really like to see the new Western Canada, the country of Western Canada. I would love to see that. I think that would be great. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. All right, 3.5 beers in. I think I'm ready to do my midterm exam now. Good. You do that exam. You kick ass. You take names. You talk about those chemicals. Women and low T males are at least 51% of the voters. Yeah, unfortunately these days. Universal income, thank you. Universal income, I think, is a brilliant idea. Social credits and digital IDs are also wonderful ideas on the coast. Alberta independence equals becoming a U.S. state. Well, see, no, that's the thing. What they're doing right now is independence, which would keep them independent from the control of the federal government of Canada. Wouldn't mean they were becoming a vassal or another state of the states. It would be its own. It would still be a part of Canada, but it would work independently of the Canadian federal government. So, and that's what I, in a perfect world, that would be great. Each province would work independently of the federal government and take care of its shit itself. And then leave the federal government to doing stuff like the military, the big stuff. but leave the day-to-day shit to the provinces to do. And that's what they're talking about when they're saying Alberta independence. They would stay Canadian. They would still be Canada. They just have independence from the federal government. Federal government couldn't tell them whether they could or could not build a pipeline or dig a well or, what have you. The federal government wouldn't tell them how much taxes to charge or which police officers to hire. The federal government wouldn't have their hand in how the medical system would work in Alberta. The province of Alberta would have control of all of that stuff. So if someone wanted to put a pipeline through Alberta, the Albertan people would have a referendum, would have a vote, and decide if that pipeline was going through. Like just fairly recently, they decided to okay a pipeline which has to run through BC, and then that pipeline has never been built. They've tried to do this pipeline under different names so many times, never gets built because the people on the coast of BC, the Lower Mainland, don't want it to go through for environmental reasons. But the government keeps just saying, grand gesture, we're going to do this and we're going to put it here and it's going to run through there. And we have to do it in BC. The province has to do it because the government said to do it. The only reason it hasn't been done is because the Native American people and the environmentalists have stopped it. But as it stands right now, if the government says to do it, the province would have to do it. Alberta is making it so that the government can say you have to do it all they want, but until the Albertan people vote on that specific issue, nothing would happen. And if Alberta people say no pipeline through here, then the government can go fuck itself and it can find a different way to put its pipeline wherever. That's what they mean by independence. So, and that's what I would love to see happen. Don't know that it's going to happen, but that's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see it's the shit that happens, the big things that happen in the province are dealt with by the province, by our premiers and our MPs. I would love to see the major things be voted on by the people who live in the province, as opposed to just having Ottawa tell us you're going to do this, 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 and this, and you cannot sell to these people, but you can to these people, and you need new ferries, so you're going to buy them from these people here, and it doesn't matter that you don't want to buy them from these people here. We're telling you to, and so you have to. That sucks. That's how our country has gotten to where it is. Alberta independence would take that power away from the government and put it in the hands of the people who live there. So, and that's me on my soapbox. That's my perfect world. Yeah, I made my way through my after high school. I did my post-secondary education. There it is. I did a year of college and for business, and self-employment stuff, running your own company, that sort of thing. But I was, yeah, high as a kite because I was also working on independent films and filming for like 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So yeah, drugs were a friend that I discovered in high school, in grade 12, and they didn't disappear until I was like in my 30s. Don't do drugs, kids. I lost a lot of good time doing drugs. I had good times doing drugs, but I wasted a lot of time. The government takes everything and decides what the people should have. Yeah, it's been tried. The government would become wealthy and everyone else starves. Well, and that's where we're at. That's where we're headed. Like I was saying, with the cost of food, here it just keeps going up. Um, that's exactly what's going on. So again, we need to the only way to fix Canada at this point would be to cut off, like, just fire the entire government en masse. Just anyone involved in the government, just fire them all and start from scratch. And that's where the provincial independence would come into effect, right? If we had more control over ourselves as a province, then it wouldn't matter what the federal government did. My exam literally just stats via the simple code. Okay. As long as I can see what I can do, I can do it. Good. I smoked a ton of pot. I took my military IQ training. They put me in the officer corps and made me be a communications officer. I had to do more drugs to get kicked out. There you go. The uppers I discovered in grade 12. Ritalin is what I discovered. And then I graduated and I couldn't get Ritalin off of friends anymore. That's what put me into meth. But I was self-medicating because I couldn't get up out of bed and I couldn't function like everyone else functioned. There were days and even weeks when I felt like I couldn't even get out of bed. It was awful. And every doctor in my entire life was telling me that I was making it up, that it couldn't possibly be happening the way I'm saying it's happening, and this, that, the other thing. It's mental illness. There's nothing physically wrong with you. Blah blah blah. You're looking for attention, whatever. So at 15, I discovered Ritalin, and suddenly I could function like everyone else could function, like all my friends could. I could get up early in the morning and I could babysit, and then I could go to school, and then I could go to work, and then I could party, and then I could go to sleep and do it all over again, like everyone else my age in my circle, everyone was doing. I could function like the normal, everyone else, normal people. And so, yeah, it wasn't until I finally started getting diagnoses when I hit 30. I only know it's 30 because I also got married when I was 30. So everything kind of happened in that year. And I started getting diagnoses, and I started being able to clean myself up, to get myself off of the hard drugs that I had ended up addicted to, just trying to function like everyone else. So Yeah. It would have been nice if I had gotten my diagnosis earlier, but I mean, fibromyalgia wasn't acknowledged as an illness. Uh, Younger, it wasn't. So I did a lot of drugs to get myself through a lot of stuff. I was functional, which meant that I could get up and go to work and all of that stuff. Um, yeah, it was interesting. It's nice to be off the hard drugs, but every now and again, it would be nice to be able to function enough to, have an actual job and earn enough money so that I could afford to live. That would be nice too, you know. Oh, okay. Wild is saying vigilante justice. A man killed his daughter's rapist. Sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And ran for sheriff and won the Republican primary. He's going to be on the ballot in his county. I heard about that. Good for him. Good for him. Um, it sucks that it had to go that route. Um, but good for him, and good that he's now running, and he's trying to make an actual difference. He's not just, you know, I that's a cool story. Um, I still doesn't mean I'm okay with vigilante justice, but it should never have gotten to the point where the father felt like he had to do that. It shouldn't have gotten to that point. There are laws on the books that should stop people from doing all sorts of stuff before it escalates to that point. Um, there are so many steps along the way before it gets to that point where it should have been stopped and there should have been justice for him. And it's awful that he wasn't able to get that justice. So I'm not advocating vigilante justice, but it really sucks that it was so bad that he had to do that. And now he's going about trying to change things the right way around. It's awesome. Canada does not allow Germans. What the hell do you mean? We saluted a Nazi in Trudeau's last year. The House of Commons gave a standing ovation and a salute to the Nazi officer, a Ukrainian Nazi officer. Canada do love the Germans. Yes, we do. Still mad about World War II? I'm not sure. I think we did pretty good in World War II, all told. Aldi and Trader Joe's are owned by two German guys that broke in the 1960s because one wanted to sell cigarettes and the other didn't. Oh, well, that's neat. I didn't know that. So Aldi's, I'm assuming Aldi's is the one that would sell the cigarettes? Or would it be? No, it would be Trader Joe's, I would think. Us average, normal folks would go to the Trader. I don't know. I know nothing. I hate YouTube censors. They prevent me from saying what I feel right. That's what the Rumble chat's for. That's what the Rumble chat's for. Dickie Titten? I don't know them. I know Rammstein. Take my evildoers comment and make it more mean. I think I missed one. Oh, there we go. Evildoers need to live to regret their actions. Yes, they do. Johnny and I were discussing that this morning while we were prepping for a show. Discussion about, why bad things happen and why God allows it and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a shitty, evil world. And I really hope that they get theirs one way or another. Alberta left the Canadian Cattle Growers Association effective, I believe, March this year. So just now. Yes. And I think from what I understand, BC is trying to set up its own. separate from the Canadian cattle growers. I know that the BC Fruit Union went bankrupt and collapsed, I think 2 years ago now. So all the farmers that grow all the fruits and vegetables were kind of left in the lurch. Um, so yeah, all sorts of those things are being left because the Canadian Cattle Growers Association is not doing so well either. From my understanding, it's being run about as well as the BC Fruit Union was run. So, um, but yeah, I've had 4 meals of chicken fajitas that my wife made for $10. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I usually get a tray of bone-in chicken thighs because I can cook all of them and portion them up, and then I'll make multiple meals, and then I can just decide if I want to put like a potato or a sweet potato, or if I've got broccoli or peppers or onions or what have you. I can decide what goes with the chicken, um, or make it into a chicken sandwich or a chicken salad, what have you. So there are ways to eat slightly cheaper. I definitely don't eat out. The only time I ever get any food out is Domino's, and I do that because they're cheap. And I get freebies every time after 4 orders. I think I get enough to get like uh, the cheese ball things or stuffed cheese bread, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't get to go out very often. See, there's Mr. Q bragging again. $3.40 for a potato. Got the moose meat for my nephew for free. Yeah, brag on, Mr. Man. Brag on. When I finally managed to get up there and visit, I really hope that I can have like moose burgers at yours or something. I think I would love to be able to come over for dinner and have some moose meat. However you want to serve it. I haven't had moose in so long. Taking Alberta oil that my family should own and get profits off of because they own the land that it's on. Okay, China. Okay, yeah, because the federal government, again, the federal government chose to sell mineral or oil rights to foreign entities. A lot of BC and Alberta have been sold off to foreign entities. China owns a lot. China owns a lot. I don't know that that's necessarily that's not what I was imagining when you said stealing oil. I was imagining people attacking an oil rig in the middle of the night and shooting people down and planting the new flag and saying, "This is ours now, bitch." That's what I was imagining. But yeah, no, you're talking about the wheelings and dealings of the federal government giving the rights to provincial property to a foreign entity and screwing over the people who actually live on the land and who have lived on the land for many, many years. Yeah, again, that's the federal government. Same federal government who has decided to just reallocate all of the lower mainland, carte blanche, give it back, the land rights back to the Musqueam band, Indian band. So anything in the lower mainland is now owned. The land rights are held by the Musqueam band, which means they don't. If you've got a mortgage, they can decide that they want your property, and so they just won't renew your mortgage. Your lease is up, and they want that piece of property back. Well, they just won't renew. The gas works, the fisheries, the hatcheries, the everything, all those companies, all those businesses, all those buildings, that land is now owned by the tribal band, and they can decide to tell anyone on that land to go fuck themselves, and those people on the land will have to go fuck themselves. Too bad, because now the Indians own it. We've given it back. It's ridiculous. And again, that's the federal government doing that. What Alberta is trying to do is get independence. So the federal government can say that, but until the people of BC had a referendum and voted on that specific item and agreed or disagreed, it would not happen. And if the people of BC said, no, fuck that, that's stupid, well, then no, fuck that, it's stupid, and it wouldn't happen. But right now, as it stands, the federal government has so much control over the province of BC, as a main example, that they can say the band now owns all of the Lower Mainland. They can say that, and it's true. There's nothing BCers can do. There's nothing anyone in those buildings can do. I mean, sure, you can fight it in court, but that's going to take years, and that's going to take millions of dollars that a lot of these people don't have, right? But it's happening because there's no laws in place to protect BC from the government. And that's what Alberta's doing, is they're putting laws in place to protect them from the government. I don't know what's going to go on with the foreign entities that own land in Alberta. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. Yeah, property rights suck. Yes, definitely. The way Trump's behaved, will just bomb Quebec and take the entire country. Yeah, joking, not joking. I know, right? And that's the thing. You wouldn't even have to bomb. You wouldn't even have to bomb. They're so beta soy, you know. My pronouns and flags in my bio, and children know that they're trans when they're 2 years old. And those sort of people are what run the place. So all Trump has to do is send a few troops in, walking around with a gun going, this is ours now, fuck you, and we're going to run it this way. And that would be enough. You wouldn't actually have to bomb anywhere. You wouldn't have to shoot a single person. You just have to show force. And you could take over Ottawa. You could take over Quebec. No problem. It would be a completely bloodless coup. It really would. Exactly. Quebec wanted out, and the government didn't want to do that. And so they gave Quebec everything, gave them everything. They've got more control over the government than BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan combined. They've got more MPs to make different rules. They're the only province that has their own political party that has seats in the House. There's a political party called the PPC, the People's Party of Canada, run by Maxime Bernier, who is just as dirty as all the rest of them. Okay, don't get me wrong. He's not, he's not the shining armor, perfect person. He spent a lot of time working in the EU and working at the ICC, from what I understand. So like he's one of them, but his party and their platform all along has been like, before COVID happened, before any of that, he'd been calling about the rights of Canadians and the problems with the immigration laws as it stood, and this stuff and this, that, and the other. There are so many Canadians that agree with that platform, but they can't get on the voting list. So if Elections Canada flubs the laws, changes the laws to make sure that the PPC can't be on the election list, so the party's not going anywhere. We can't get a seat in the House because we can't even get put on the Elections Canada list. They've changed the laws and then changed them back again to make sure that the PPC can't be on that list. It's ridiculous. Generally speaking, humans want to be slaves serving a master. Yeah, generally speaking, people are sheeple. That's what they do. They need someone. They need a master to tell them, what to do and when to do it, and give them the good for you pats on the heads to keep them happy and feeling safe. That's in general, that's what humanity is looking for. Yeah. They can say I was just following instructions because they can reject the responsibility. I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I didn't, and it's not my fault. Just follow, and that's what they told me to do, and so I did. And I didn't know what was going on before and after me. I don't know. Talk to them. Yeah, a lot of people work that way. That's a beautiful gray cat. I have Misty Gray. Yeah, that was Boo. That was my boobers. She's the oldest. She's got a little triangle on her top of her head and a very thin line right between her eyes. And then she's got a broken heart on her chin. Otherwise, she's yeah, dark, very dark gray or brown, very dark, not black, but yeah, that's my boobery. And that you can there. You can see her right there. That's sweetheart. That's my sweets. I named her after the character in the show Castle. Because that character was really such a nice, genuinely nice person, and so is Sweets. She's just genuinely sweet. She's very, very nice. So that's my girls. Fair enough. Fair enough. Had to quit giving money to other channels. Nothing comes back the other way. I know, right? You know, it is what it is. I do this because I've got time. I am very blessed in that being on disability. I rented this place back before rent went through the roof, and the old landlord never raised the rent. So even though the new landlord's been here for years now, they're only allowed to raise the rent, I think, like 2% per year. So it's staying at much lower than anywhere else would be normally. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I can afford to do this, and this is my social stuff. This is yeah, this is how I have friend time. It's you guys. So I don't really have a whole lot of money to be sending off to different channels. And when someone sends money my way, it's always super appreciated. Right now, it really sucks. I had to take away from my travel fund and to pay for cat food. There was an issue. There was a whole kerfuffle, and doesn't. But in the end, I needed to take a big chunk of money and put it on cat food right now, and so I had to take money out of the trip. But any money that comes in from you guys right now, it's all going towards my being able to afford to get down there so I can start visiting and meeting you guys in person. That is my goal. But yeah, I'm um, thankfully it's not. I don't have to rely on it for my income. It's that bit is very nice. I do this because I'm bored and lonely, sitting and watching TV by myself all day every day. I enjoy being in chat. And Legal Vices, Jeff told me I should, do this, get the camera and the mic, and I did, and that was a blast. And he told me I should, try being a streamer. So this is what I do, and it's nice. We can hang out and we can shoot the shit, um, and have a good old time. And now I've got a social circle. You know, it's really been quite nice. But yeah, I don't have to rely on it. Like I know, like Johnny, for example, it's part of his income. Like that $65 a show um, needs to be made. It's part of the income he needs in order to survive each month, right? So if that $65 per show didn't come in, he'd have to go and get a different job. It's only by the grace of you guys who watch him and are able to chuck in that he's able to do that for the income. But yeah, if he didn't have that, um, he'd have to go find a different form of income. I'm lucky if I were to lose the ability to do this, um, it wouldn't affect whether or not my bills are being paid, right? My bills are still going to be paid anyways. I don't have that. I don't rely on it that way, which is nice. you know, at the end of the day, I'm blessed. I know that the rent will be paid, the bills will be covered, like the basics, the phone, um, and internet, the hydro, phone, internet, yeah, phone, internet, hydro is always paid, rent is always paid, and there's always enough money to feed myself and the girls. You know, so I'm very, very lucky. If I had to move and start paying rent at today's rental prices, I'd be fucked. I'd be seriously fucked. So I'm really, really lucky where I am. But yeah, I don't. It's tough. It's tough when you're kind of needing that money to come in. It's really hard. Oh, um, the minute Alberta or Saskatchewan leaves and claims independence from the federal government, the United States will absorb them just for reasons. Well, no, but see, that's the thing. We don't want independence from the country. We just want independence from the federal government. We want to give the power back to the province. It's like you guys giving the power back to the states. Each state can decide on their own about abortion and stuff. That's what Alberta's doing. They're wanting to put the power back in the hands of the province. So they're not looking to not be Canadian anymore. They'll still be Canadian. They just won't, the federal government won't have their hands in every little thing. Asexual. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Two slug butts. QIA. If the IA could be asexual, yeah, intersexual. Okay, now I understand what that last comment was, Brian. I forgot we were talking about that. Follow the money, says Mr. Q. Where are we at here? Oof, I'm far, far behind. 4 beers now, debating on grabbing a fifth, says Brian. Everyone seems to be saying go 5. Go 5. If I get one more 5, I'll go 5. And there's the 5 from himself. Look at that. Look at that. I guess you had 5. If you think that you might want to do anything, do it when you're young, and you can still blame it on being young and dumb instead of after when you're married and have kids, right? That was the key. I mean, don't do drugs, kids. But at least I did it when I was young and dumb and before I had like a career and kids who relied on me and stuff like that. At least, I got it out. It means that I started being an adult much later in life than most people. But yeah. All right, good. He's having the 5th beer. Mr. Q says he's going for 7 Coors. So there's that. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take the camera off. I'm going to go not for liquor, but I'm going to go for a cup of coffee because I made a fresh pot and that was an hour and 23 minutes ago. So I should probably drink it, eh? And that's what I mean about, I tend to pour the last bit of the pot of coffee out lately because it takes me so long to drink it. It's just no good by the end. And yeah, I can't get past how lovely Coffee Mate powder is. Now that I'm a non-smoker, there's a vanilla flavor to it that I never knew was there. And it's interesting because I haven't really noticed like flavors being, wow, better, except for the Coffee Mate. Everything else seems to taste about the same as it always did. When I was smoking or non-smoking now, it still tastes about the same. But Coffee Mate, man, Coffee Mate it just went up so many levels of tasty. It's the strangest thing. Oh, shit. Oh, all right. So, camera is off. but one sweet cat put herself underneath my foot, and I kind of started to step on her, which led me to spill coffee on Boo. Just a couple drips, but there we go. Stop doing that. Holy Hannah. I know, I'm sorry, Boo. I'm sorry, but when you groom it later, you're going to have a nice flavor of vanilla. Ah, for 5 6s. Ah, let's see. I got put on Ritalin when I was really young, like 8 years old. It's actually a good thing because it made me not like do meth later on in life. Yeah. See, that's the problem. Um, for me, Ritalin did the opposite of what it did to the people who were actually being prescribed the Ritalin. Like it was supposed to calm them down and help them to be able to focus. But because I didn't need that, it acted like a speed for me. So finally, I was able to wake up in the morning and have the energy to go about my day. I didn't wake up, I didn't start every morning worn out. Um, my pain was less, I guess. My pain was a lot less at that time, anyways. In general, it was nowhere near as bad as it is these days. Um, but still, the pain was less. I was less tired. The brain fog cleared up. I could think straight. I could function. Ritalin made it so that I could function like all the other people. It was quite nice. Um, yes, elemental. I feel that in my soul. Living off of others comes at such a cost, and when it's due to poor health, it leaves one in despair. Right? It's a vicious circle that a lot of folks are in right now. Um, Poor health and can't afford the healthy living that would allow them to, or the medication stuff that would allow them to be healthy again. Um, so yeah, it was not fun before I started getting diagnoses. But now that I've got some diagnoses, we've been treating it for like more than 15 years now, and it wasn't just the fibro. I have other issues, other health issues that are going on that weren't being diagnosed either. Um, so it wasn't just the fibro, but yeah, it is nice because we've been able to start doing things to ameliorate. If we can't cure it, we've been able to ease the symptoms a lot more, and I'll take that. um, I love Starship Troopers. Yeah, Starship Troopers. I'm a Robert Heinlein fan. I loved reading his books. And so I had read the book Starship Troopers many times before that movie came out. And that movie was so, so bad and so not like the books. it was it was so bad. My friends and I, we ended up turning the movie Starship Troopers into a drinking game because it was so bad. We'd get bored if we had to actually just sit there and watch the movie. Yeah, my goodness. You really should. I wish I could read the Heinlein books on my reading stream, but the Heinlein estate has apparently they're very big on copywriting and stuff. So I don't want to be reading his books out of turn and get myself in all sorts of trouble. But yeah, Brian, you should read some Robert Heinlein books. They were great. And yes, Rumble's the place to be for free speech. That's where you want to go. That's the best place to be. You're doing your part, Brian, to correct my obscene error. The shower scene was one of the first nude scenes I'd ever seen from a movie. Uh-huh. Yo, I've never had moose meat. Can I have some moose meat burgers too? I read Starship Troopers, interesting book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really did. I loved Heinlein books in general. I liked the universe that he had built with the extremely long living people. He had his main character's name was Lazarus Long, and he had lived um, like thousands of years or something like that. It's been a long time since I've read them. Um, but yeah, he just kept procreating over many, many, many years. Um, and so he later on he'd run into family members he didn't know he had and stuff like that. So that was cool. That was like an overarching story across all of the books. But yeah, I really liked The Man from Mars. Um, oh gosh, now I'm blanking on titles. I loved most of the Heinlein books. I don't think I read one that I didn't like. There were some that I liked more than others, but yeah. Canada's doing like South Africa, land expropriation without compensation, just take the land. Well, and that's kind of it. Yeah, the federal government, and they don't give a flying fuck. They're over east. They don't give a shit. They're not handing out their land. Um, but suddenly the entire lower mainland belongs to an Indian band. And now there's more than one Indian band that claim land in the lower mainland. So why is it all being handed to the one Musqueam band? Right? Like, if we're going to do this, let's do this fairly. Let's make sure that each different band in the lower mainland gets their fair share of the land. Why is it all going to the one tribe? Right? Like, there's so much wrong with it. So much wrong. Yeah, some were young adults, some were definitely not. Yeah. But they were all good books. All Russian blue cats are loyal AF. Well, Boo is not a Russian blue. Um, she may look it as she walks by. She's not a Russian blue. She is actually a rag doll. Her mom was a purebred rag doll. Here. And images. There we go. Yes. Ah. Okay, well, that's as far as it's going to let me open it. Okay, well, I will share it like that then. If I can see, share screen. There. So that is what her mom looked like. Let's see if we can get a full body. Yeah, that's what her mom looked like with the brownish black. It wasn't the pale. Where's the paler one? I thought I saw, but her mom was more of the black or the brownish black, not the beige. So yeah, that's Boo's mom. Um, and her dad, she got out one night. She got out for not even full 12 hours, but she got out of the house and she ran into Boo's dad and she got it on and was pregnant. So out of Boo's litter, Boo is the only one that looks like her dad. Every other one in the litter looked like the purebred mom. But of course, it wasn't purebred, so they were just being given away. So I was very lucky. The neighbor girl, she went and got one that looks like the mom, looks like a rag doll, and then she came home with it and took me back with her to look at Boo, and of course I ended up bringing Boo home. So we have no idea what Boo's dad is. We have no idea what the rest of her is. Um, just whatever stray lived around close to the park that the mom lived at. I find hobbies because I get bored. I want to do gaming content again when I finish school. I want to make games. I want to do another D&D campaign. Yeah, I would love to do D&D. I've never been able to do it. I've never done it. I would love to do it. I would love to give it a go. I think it's the sort of game that I would enjoy. Um, and yeah, I do this is I guess the closest thing to a hobby I've got. I don't get out and well, I mean I do. I hang out with the neighbors. I hang out with the neighbors, and the neighbors are cool folks. I enjoy them all. We all know each other. We all help each other out. Like we were talking about today, one of my neighbors needed sugar and coffee mate, but they had just finished making burgers for dinner, so they brought me a freshly made burger in exchange for the coffee and the coffee or the sugar and coffee mate. You know, people come to me fairly regularly if they've run out of cat litter and they don't they don't want to run to the store that night. I always have a bunch of cat litter um, because I can't go out to the store and carry them. I get them ordered, so I just make sure that there's always a lot here. When everyone was running around buying all the toilet paper in the world, I was buying cat litter. I figured that would be the worst for me is not being able to get cat litter because these girls don't go outside. But yeah, this is my socializing. This is where I get to interact with people. Otherwise, it's just appointments and the neighbors. Bring me moose meat. So, Lords of Bastard concert in Chicago, May 3rd. Okay, I'm either going there and Minneapolis or Detroit, Minneapolis, but I'm leaning towards Chicago. That's cool. That's cool. You want to go to a concert this year? Yeah, I haven't gone to a concert in ages. I can't afford to go to a concert. My goodness. It's yeah, hundreds of dollars. I used to go down to Vancouver and see a show for like a $5 um cover charge to get in. We saw all the bands in Vancouver in the small venues, very inexpensive. There's no way I would have been able to afford to see all the bands I saw if they were at the prices they are today. I can't imagine how much yeah, I never would have been able to afford to see all those bands. I was very lucky. Once you have kids, it's self-preservation to stay sober. There you go. Yeah. I never did get to have the kids, but yeah, it's funny. My ex-husband, that's one thing, everything happens for a reason, and you may not understand what the reason is at the time in the moment, but eventually you'll figure it out. You'll go, "Oh shit, okay, well, I see. I see why. Well, I see why I married the man I did when I did. If not for him, I don't think I ever would have gotten sober. I really don't think I would have. He was the one that gave me the courage and the ability to just stop it. And it didn't happen right away, and it didn't happen all at once. But yeah, if not for him, I would not have sobered up. So everything happens for a reason. If not for me, he wouldn't have been a Canadian. He wouldn't have become a Canadian. So at the end of the day, looking at it from this far away, yeah, I'm I'm thankful that we met each other because it definitely helped my life. Did you really become an adult later than other people? Though if you did it early on and got it over with compared to waiting till you were in your 30s or 40s to cheat on women and do stupid shit. Yeah, no, no, no. What I meant was I mean, usually you do it in your late teens and your, early 20s and you get it out of your system. And you should be long over. I was still partying hard at 30. There was no end in sight at 30. I really was using it to function. And I managed to get myself off of meth by using cocaine and alcohol, which is not great, but that's what got me off the meth. And like I said, it wasn't until I met and married my ex-husband that I was finally able to get off the cocaine. Um, and basically cut my drinking back to where it is now, where I've got control over it. It's not, it doesn't have control over me. Um, yeah, like I was a little worried after the last funding month. I was like, holy shit, I drank a bit much. Um, because I didn't just have a few on the stream and then that was the end of my day. Our stream ends at 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm half cut at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I went on and had a whole afternoon and evening that one, and I had a great time. But after that, when I got up the next day, I went, holy shit, um, am I starting to have a problem with alcohol again? So I told myself I wouldn't drink again until the following funding. So yeah, sorry, that wasn't this month, it was the last month. And I did. I think I drank the day before this last funding thing. But it wasn't drinking. I had one can with the neighbor. Cuz she loves her hey y'alls. So yeah, I keep a good eye on the alcohol intake, and thank God I haven't taken hard drugs in many, many, many years. 2012 was my sober date. 2012, February 2012. So whatever that is. But yeah, I kept doing the drugs for a long time, longer than most people do. You usually get it out of your system before you hit your mid 20s. I was still partying. I was partying like a teenager, like a 20-year-old when I was 30. So that wasn't good. Then I suddenly had to go from being, partying like a teenager to being a 30-year-old like that. That was a little tough. Live every day like tomorrow won't come. You might develop a disease that ends your life, right? Right? Plane might fall out of the sky. Car might knock you, right out of your socks. You don't know. So you just gotta, and that's what I was trying to tell Johnny when we were prepping the show this morning is if you're not sure, you don't want to trust the words of man, that's fine. I proved to myself that Jesus actually walked the earth. I love history and archaeology and all that sort of stuff. So I proved to myself through my own research that he was a person. He did live, he did die, and there is concrete proof that he did rise again and talk to all the people that they say he talked to. So I believe him. I'll follow what he believed. And he always, everything was about my Father who is in heaven. The miracles that he did were not being done by him, but by his Father who is in heaven. He followed the 10 Commandments. He followed the Saturday Sabbath, the seventh day Sabbath. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Now this world is evil and full of sin, and I'm a person, which means that I am evil and full of sin. So all I can do is the absolute best I can to be the best person I am. And I'm gonna fuck up. We're all gonna fuck up. There is no such thing as a perfect human, unless you want to talk about the 400 and however many thousand, but that's a whole nother theological thing. The point is we're going to fuck up. And at the end of it all, when we're being judged, we're going to be judged on what's in our hearts. Like it says in the Bible, the sin starts in the thought, not in the deed. The thinking about having an affair with your neighbor's wife, the thinking about it is the sin. You've already committed the sin, whether you act on it or not. You've thought it, so that's the sin that you've committed. So he's going to judge you by your heart and about how you reacted to these things. If you're angry because you've got an illness where your body just doesn't want to obey you, and you're angry and you lash out and whatever. God is not going to look at you and go, oh, you're an evil person, you're a bad person, and off to hell with you. That's not how he works. He's going to look at your heart. I think that every human is built comes with a moral compass built in. Of course, there are certain humans that have mental diseases that maybe mute or kill completely that compass, that moral. But for the bulk of us, we know what's right and wrong in our core, and that's what we're being judged on. How many times did we get put in a situation where we knew something was wrong, but we did it anyways? Or how many times did we get into a situation where we knew it was wrong and we made the choice to not do it and to step away? We're going to be judged on when we did screw up. What was our reaction? How did we react? How did we change to the to stop it from happening again? That's what we're being judged on, not by individual moments and you know and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah, that's where you at the end of the day, your best is just to live every day like it's your last one and enjoy it and do as much good as you can within that day. And that's really all we can do. And if at the end of it all there is no God and there is no hell or heaven, well, what have you lost? Absolutely nothing. The cat will sew you like the McDonald's lady. You owe Boo $16 million. She'll sue me like the McDonald's lady. Yeah, I know. No, she's okay. It was only a couple of drips. It didn't even get down onto her skin. I got it. Yeah. No worries. But yeah, 16 million more pets. And Sweets is the problem. She's lately, it's getting worse. She creeps up from behind, totally silent, and then she's right behind your foot. So as soon as you step to the side or you step back, even a half step, she's there underneath it, and all hell breaks loose. It's an annoying habit she's brought in, and I really would prefer if it was forgotten again, but she's a cat. The food, that's a problem I'm working to solve, specifically giving people like us a second chance. Yeah, that's the food is a big thing. That was another thing we were talking about this morning. I can't afford to eat healthy. Like when it comes to like following the Bible diet, it's all about whole foods and grains. And I can't afford to eat that. In order to eat vegetables that I haven't like during the year when I can't be growing my own, the vegetables I'm buying, I don't know what they really are. Like I don't know if they're genetically modified. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they've been grown in, what fertilizers, what pesticides. I don't know anything about it. And I got to tell you, I don't remember things like bell peppers being rubbery, but that they're all rubbery now. They're not crispy anymore. They're rubbery, and yeah, only the ones that I buy in the store. The ones I grow are normal, so I don't like that. But I can't afford to go and buy organic or what have you. I can't afford to buy the good healthy food, and I'm sure that's part of the plan. There's so many preservatives and genetically modified this and cloned meat that's, and who knows what we're actually getting put in us. Rocket Ship Galileo. It was a young adult book. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I'm pulling a total blank. Have Spacesuit was Will Travel. That was a good one. And Citizen of a Galaxy was good. Time for the Stars. Red Planet. There we go. Red Planet. I think that was one of the ones that I really enjoyed. Short answer, juice. Okay. All right. And hello, AP. How you doing? I hope you're having a decent evening. Daddy must have been a blue. Yeah, I don't know. Daddy was a local cat. That's all. Uh-huh. Female cats are one of the rare animals that it can accept sperm from multiple different males. I didn't know that. I learned that later on in life. They and rats both do that. Okay. I didn't know that worked for rats as well. Hello, Brooks. How you doing? Yeah, I didn't know that until later in life, but that is very interesting, eh? And now it can very rarely happen with humans as well, that a mom can get pregnant from one man and then also be pregnant from another man's child at the same time and carry twins, but each one has a different dad. That has happened. It's very, very rare, but it has happened. But yeah, cats, female cats, it's interesting they can do that. So she might be completely like her dad, but she's got enough little light spots that she's got bits of her mama in her. And she's definitely got the ragdoll fur. But she's got yellow eyes. She doesn't have the blue eyes of a ragdoll. It sounds like family and friends to me help each other out. It's a reason why you should belong to a community of people that you like. Exactly. The neighbors are great. If someone's going away, there's like two or three different houses in our complex that will take care of your cats for you while you're gone, or water your plants or whatever. Like we do that. When I went away to the coast for 3 weeks, one of the neighbors took the two girls into their house with them. So they just moved into a neighbor's house while I was gone. It's that kind of stuff that we help each other out with. It's great. One of the neighbors, she orders anything I need off of Amazon. She'll order for me on her Amazon account because I can't afford to have an Amazon account. I can't afford to pay for, TV. I can't afford to pay for Netflix and stuff. Amazon account, but she'll order me whatever I need, and I can just pay her the money, and it's great. It's really nice. If the shit were to hit the fan, I trust the people in this complex, even if I don't know them all, really, really well. I trust them enough to know that we'd be able to get help each other through whatever hardship there was. So I'm very, very lucky. People saying hi to Bricks. Mr. Q saying, I have to go to Lord of Acid concerts when they're here. Praga Con is a good friend, and I can't afford to go to Belgium. Yeah. I had buddies who went to every other year. The band would travel to Poland and Belgium and somewhere else. They would tour in that area of Europe because they were a heavy metal band. And it was funny. They would go every other year, and they were really popular out there. And the lead singer would have to fly separately from the rest of the band because he got busted with a roach in his pocket trying to cross into America once when he was like a teenager. So he was no longer allowed to set foot in the States. So he would have to fly differently and not have a stop in the States. He'd have to fly over the States completely. So yeah, that was funny. Getting to tease him for that. He'd always have to travel longer and separate from everyone else. What do they call the hockey groupies? I don't know. Any of you guys know what a hockey groupie would be called? I mean, I know we've got truckers. They're lot lizards. There's different terms for them, but yeah, I don't know what a hockey groupie would be. I don't know if Johnny's listening. He was a hockey player. Maybe he knows. Brian's saying he has the resources if we ever do a D&D campaign. That's awesome. It'll be 100% free for you other than feet pics, of course. Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. I remember she said the nickname for them hoes. I can't remember. I don't know what it would be. Tabletop is something I've wanted to explore more myself. Tried doing in person as that's preferred, but health didn't allow. Yeah, might just have to accept doing it online. Well, that's kind of I've come to accept that most of my entertaining and entertainment will be done online now. Because I would love to play D&D. I had friends who played back in the day, But I didn't. Uh, for whatever reason, I just didn't get into it. But it sounds like it would be right up my alley. I would love it. Well, thank you, Elemental. And happy hump day to you too, Neurodivergent One. I'm actually going to be calling it fairly shortly. If you want to find someone for us to raid, um, that would be great. The girls have been very patient, um, but it's about that time. Now they're both looking at me. But yeah, if you've got someone that I could raid, now would be the time. That would be awesome. Please and thank you. And yeah, hit the follow, smash the thumbs up, all the good stuff. Please and thank you. He already put me in hell when he gave me MS. Well, that's what I was trying to explain to Johnny. God didn't give you the illness. You got the illness because the world sucks because evil and sin is within it. So bad shit happens. God didn't decide that, oh, you're going to have MS and you're going to have fibro and you're going to be Trump and live like a, live like a king. God didn't decide all that. Shit happens because it's a shitty, sinful world. God will do his best to help you where he can. But he gave us free will because we need to choose. He doesn't want slaves. He wants us to choose to follow him because we want to follow him. So yeah, he didn't actually give you the disease. And at the end of time when we're all being judged, he knows what you've gone through. And so, like I said before, we'll be judged on our hearts. And how we thought, and how we reacted because of the way we thought. Like I said, if we do something that we know is bad but we do it anyways, willfully and repeatedly, we'll be judged for that. But if we do something wrong that we don't realize is wrong, for example, going to church on a Sunday or eating pork, I go to church on Saturday and I don't eat pork because my understanding, he's put it in my heart. He's impressed it upon me that those are things that I needed to do. If God hasn't impressed that upon you, then he's not going to judge you for it. He's not going to judge you for not doing something you didn't know you were supposed to be doing, Either way, yeah, it's long and it's a heavy topic, and I just have faith that he loves us and that as long as I keep trying to do the best I can with what I've got, and when I do make mistakes, I try and fix them. And I'm not always going to be perfect, and I'm not always going to be great at doing the right thing. But as long as I learn from it and try and do better, that's what I'm being judged on. That's my understanding of God. So, saying hi to Johnny. Why do I know that? I didn't even watch her play hockey that much. Oh, did you know? Did I miss it? Oh, I missed it. I can't find it now. Yeah, Wild Ask Johnny. Yeah. You're watching the hockey right now. Okay. AP is saying tomorrow is his Friday. Nice. Wild is saying good night. And yeah, we're at that time. So, okay, Mr. Q believes more in the Dante's 7 Rings of Hell thing. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That's all. We've been here for 2 hours, so I'll call it. I will be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. For the reading stream, I'm reading, something controversy, the Great Controversy. I'm reading that, so I will be back and reading that for 2 hours tomorrow morning. Then I'll be joining Johnny on his show, Just Kidding LLC. And so I will see you guys there. And until then, have a great night. Bye.
Login, late night, same chair, same spot. Screen glow, halo, chat's running hot. She flips to page 3, then dives off the plot. Let's talk about the Lizard Kings again. Tinfoil crown sitting proud on her head. Says it helps keep out the thought police thread. But she laughs so hard that it slips instead. Who walks past like, here we go, my friend. Welcome to Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox. Asleep on the unread stack. Camera zooms in, chats typing in caps. Show us the cover, what's that in the back? She grins, it's classified, or maybe it's trash. She's got red string charts that we can't quite see. Swears the plot twist lives on page 203. Then she stops mid-rant, did you hear that beep? It's just a follow ping, but we all lean in. Welcome to Digger's Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox. Are we chasing our tails or the mother lode? She says, think for yourself, that's the only law. Then Boo hits the mic with a perfect misbrew. Welcome to Digger's Chatterbox. Hey! Pull up a chair, let your weird thoughts talk. From dusty old books to the sky that watches. She's under that shiny hat, unlocking all the boxes. Digger 420 on your screen, non-stop. This is Digger's Chatterbox.
Because,